Starting your own apple orchard. I'm going to give you a few ideas here of what I've done. The last apple orchard I had in the house, I just sold here 2 years ago, so we started over. I do all my own grafting by rootstock. So you want to buy the rootstock for your area. You can buy standard tree, you can buy dwarf or semi-dwarf. I like the semi-dwarf. Those are trees I like, but they do take 5 to 7 years to start bearing any fruit. Or you can do a dwarf in probably 4 to 5 years, and that's starting from rootstock. If you bought those, then a dwarf would be 3 years, semi-dwarf 5 years. The first thing you want to do is you want to put up fencing like this to protect your trees from the deer. Next thing you want to do is protect it from the rabbits. This fencing here, the rabbits can still get through, so then I use chicken wire here. You can see the chicken wire right here. And I put that all around where I'm putting my trees. And these are all my rootstocks. Some of these are this year and some are last year, so they'll go 1 more year in the garden. But you want to till this up, put in wood chips. That will keep your soil moist, and then fertilize it. And those trees will do great for you. Next thing you want to do in the winter, and the winter just got over, is you want to cap your trees so the mice can't get them. If you don't cap them, the mice are going to destroy them, and you're going to start all over. I like to have them in here for 2 years. I got this chicken wire here. This was last year's when I just bought the land, so I brought them out here and got that rootstock started. And you can see these trees are bigger. So this year they will be 5-foot whips. So they'll be ready next year to put into the yard or wherever you want to plant your apple trees. You can see some of them down there are just this year, where I just grafted them. And so you'll see in here where I've filled in, there's some new grafts. You can see over there, there's a new graft right there. Now what I like is, I like the Wealthy, best tasting apple to me, the Honeycrisp and the Connell Reds. Connell Reds, great for pie apples, eating, just an all-around great apple. And the wildlife, they drop a lot of apples for the wildlife and the deer. After they get to that size, you want to bring them out to the yard here. And so here's one that was ready, and I just planted this one. And some of these came from the other house in the garden where they were in there for 2 years, so I got them transferred out here. So what you want to look for is, there's a bulb where the graft is that generates, that grows right where that connection is. You want that connection to be facing the sun, so oppose the tree that way, and that will just help give you a better trunk, stronger trunk. But you can see here's the trees. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 I think out here that we just started. So we're just getting our orchard going. I'm guessing it's going to be about 3 years now, because these trees now will be, at that time, will be 6 years old from the garden. But simply start up with a rootstock. I think it's an M26, but you can see my other videos on what rootstock I used. Start them in the garden for 2 years. Make sure they're fertilized and protected from the deer, the rabbits, and the mice. And on the spring of the 3rd year, get them out here in the field. Now the other thing I'll do with these, I'll put a tree spike, fertilizer spike on each one of these. And as it gets larger, I'll put 2 on them. And I'll do that for, maybe 5, 6 years. And then I won't fertilize them anymore. They'll just be natural. I hope that gives you some ideas what to do and how to do it. Now the reason you see some black here and some white, this black tubing was given to me. A guy had a ton of it, so he gave me a whole coil of it. I got it over here. You can see it. Well, what I found is the ants just love that. So I went and bought the original white stuff here and started putting that around them. It's a little larger. It keeps the ants out of there, and of course it helps reflect the heat a little bit. Hope that helps. Join me on MW Outdoors for more articles, and we can see where These are busting out already. This was last year's that we put in, and we're just starting here for the year. So you can see the just starting to crown there. And these here we just put in. And they're just starting to pop. You can see them. Another good thing to do is when I dig these holes here, I use a post hole digger, but really it's a ice auger, a 6-inch ice auger that I've had for years, and I just use that since I don't use it for ice fishing anymore. And dig that hole, and then put the tree in it. You want that joint that you made from the graft, that bulb, not only facing the sun, you want that about 2 inches above the ground level. Then come back, start adding soil, fill it up with water, add your soil, and make a mud. I like to make a mud and work it around with my hand or a stick to get the air bubbles out. And that just takes and surrounds the roots with all dirt. It just really packs them in nice and helps the tree grow that way. You can do some tree starter if you want to get started. I've done that. It doesn't seem to make a difference for me, so I don't fertilize them at all other than the tree stakes, the little spikes that you can buy. Good luck in starting your apple orchard. Some of the trees, like I said, I like the Wealthy. It's the grandfather of the Honeycrisp, but the June bugs really like those leaves. They're really sweet. I am going to try Liberty, so I've got to get some more rootstock, and that'll be next year, and find some Liberty and do a transplant there. But I heard the Liberty are pretty good too. But again, my common apple is the Honeycrisp, the Wealthy, and the Cano Reds.